Nasa bahay, may lechon.
You think you know what greatness looks like? Try this on for size. A teenager from the Philippines, ranked 140 in the world, takes down not one, not two, but multiple Grand Slam champions in a single tournament. And then, Nike immortalizes her at their headquarters with a phrase that's sending shivers down every tennis fan's spine. History in full bloom. Stick around because we're diving into Eala's wild ride from underdog wildcard to Nike royalty. And trust me, the internet is absolutely losing it. Quick favor, if you're loving this content, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now, back to the show. Picture this, Nike headquarters in Oregon, the same place where legends like Serena Williams, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer have left their mark. Now, imagine walking through those halls and seeing a new face staring back at you. Eala, frozen in time, mid-celebration, the moment she made history. Not just tennis history, folks, Filipino history. The kind of moment that makes an entire nation stop what they're doing and watch. Because when a wild card ranked 140 starts taking down champions like their practice partners, you don't just notice, you remember. And Nike, they're making damn sure the world never forgets. The coronation at Nike's Oregon headquarters wasn't some casual photo op. This was a statement. A 20-year-old from Manila immortalized alongside the greatest athletes to ever pick up a racket. The display features her iconic moment from the 2025 Miami Open, arms raised, pure joy radiating from every pixel. And that phrase, history in full bloom, chef's kiss. Because Eala didn't just arrive on the scene, she bloomed, she exploded, she shattered every ceiling people tried to put over her head. And now, every employee, every visitor, every wide-eyed kid touring Nike's campus sees her face and knows the Philippines has arrived in professional tennis. But here's the kicker. This coronation wasn't just about one tournament. It was about validating years of grinding, years of being told she wasn't ready, years of people underestimating what a Filipino could do on the world stage. Eala just proved them all wrong, and she did it with style. Let's rewind to March 2025, the Miami Open. Eala walks onto the court as a wild card, ranked 140. Nobody's picking her to win. Nobody's even talking about her. She's the footnote in someone else's story, the warm-up match for the big names. Except Alex didn't get the memo. She looked at that draw, saw multiple Grand Slam champions staring back at her, and thought, yeah, I'll take them all down. And she did. One by one, like dominoes falling in the most beautiful chaos you've ever seen. The biggest scalp? Iga Swiatek, world number 1, 5-time Grand Slam champion, the woman who makes winning look like a casual Tuesday morning activity. Eala walked into that match as the ultimate underdog, and she walked out as the first Filipino in the Open era to beat a top 10 WTA player. Let that sink in. The entire history of professional tennis, every Filipino who ever picked up a racket, every dream that felt just out of reach. Alex shattered that barrier in one afternoon. The crowd went absolutely insane. Social media exploded. The Philippines basically declared a national holiday because this wasn't just a win, this was validation. This was proof that Filipino athletes belong on the biggest stages in sports. And Alex wasn't done yet. She kept going, kept winning, kept making people who doubted her look absolutely silly. By the time the dust settled in Miami, she'd taken down multiple champions, each victory bigger than the last. It was like watching someone unlock God mode in a video game, except this was real life and the stakes couldn't be higher. Now you might be wondering, how does someone ranked 140 just suddenly start beating the best players in the world? Great question. Here's the thing about Eala. She's been building to this moment her entire life. This wasn't some fluke. This was years of work, years of development, years of believing when nobody else did. She spent time at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. Yeah, that Rafa Nadal. learning from the best, grinding on clay courts, developing a game that could compete with anyone. She won junior Grand Slams. She dominated on the ITF circuit. She was always this good. The world just wasn't paying attention yet. But Miami made everyone pay attention. Suddenly, tennis analysts who couldn't pronounce her name last week are calling her the next big thing. Suddenly, brands are lining up. Suddenly, the Philippines has a legitimate superstar in a sport they've never dominated before. And Alex, she's handling it all with the calm confidence of someone who knew this day was coming all along. The social media reaction to her Miami run was pure gold. Filipino fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, every platform imaginable with tributes, memes, and enough pride to fuel a small country. One tweet that went viral said, Eala just put the Philippines on the tennis map with a permanent marker. Can't erase this. Another fan posted a side-by-side comparison of Alex's ranking before and after Miami with the caption, "Character development hits different." And let's not forget the memes. Oh, the glorious memes. One showed Alex photoshopped as a giant, literally stepping over tiny versions of her opponents. Another had her wearing a crown with the caption, "Wild card? More like wild queen." Even international tennis fans who'd never heard of the Philippines were suddenly experts on Filipino culture, geography, and why Eala is basically their new favorite player. It's like she turned an entire sport into a crash course on Filipino excellence, and honestly, we're here for it. But Miami was just the beginning. Alex took that momentum and ran with it straight into the Middle East swing. While some players might have relaxed after such a historic run, Alex said, "Nah, I'm just getting started." She showed up in Dubai, Doha, and Abu Dhabi with the same fire, the same hunger, the same refusal to back down from anyone. Match after match, she kept proving Miami wasn't a fluke. She was consistently beating ranked opponents, consistently outplaying players who should have had more experience, more resources, more everything. Except they didn't have what Alex had. They didn't have that chip on their shoulder, that drive to represent an entire nation every single time she stepped on court. The Middle East performances weren't just about wins and losses. They were about consistency, about showing the tennis world that Eala isn't some one-hit wonder who got lucky in Miami. She's a legitimate threat, a rising force, someone you do not want to see across the net from you. And the rankings, they started reflecting that reality real quick. By the time the Middle East swing wrapped up, Eala had climbed to a career high of ranking number 31. Read that again, number 31 in the world, the highest ranking ever achieved by a Filipino tennis player in history. Not just women, not just in the modern era, ever, period, end of story. That's the kind of achievement that gets statues built, that gets streets named after you, that gets you immortalized at Nike headquarters with phrases like history in full bloom. Because that's exactly what this is. History. Living, breathing, still unfolding history. Imagine being from a country that's never had a top 100 tennis player, let alone a top 50, let alone a top 32. And then Eala comes along and just rewrites everything. She didn't just break the glass ceiling, she obliterated it, swept up the shards, and used them to build a staircase for the next generation of Filipino athletes to climb. The Philippines went absolutely bonkers. We're talking ticker-tape parade-level celebrations, news outlets running non-stop coverage, government officials falling over themselves to congratulate her, kids all over Manila suddenly asking their parents for tennis lessons. This is the ripple effect of greatness, folks. This is what happens when one person's achievement inspires millions. Eala isn't just playing tennis, she's changing the entire landscape of Filipino sports culture.
And she's not slowing down, not even a little bit. With Indian Wells and the 2026 Miami Open on the horizon, Alex is gearing up to defend her reputation as the giant killer. Indian Wells, nicknamed the Fifth Grand Slam because of its prestige, is where the world's best players come to compete. And Alex, she's walking in as a legitimate threat. Not a curiosity, not a wild card hoping for an upset. a ranked player with wins over Grand Slam champions on her resume. That's a completely different energy. That's the energy of someone who belongs. The 2026 Miami Open is particularly juicy. Returning to the scene of her greatest triumph, the place where she made history, the tournament where she became a household name? Oh, the storylines are writing themselves. Can she repeat the magic? Can she go even further? What happens when everyone knows who you are and they're all gunning for you? These are the questions that make tennis so delicious, and Eala is serving up answers one match at a time. But let's zoom out for a second. Let's talk about what this all means beyond tennis. Eala's rise isn't just a sports story, it's a cultural milestone. It's proof that talent exists everywhere, that greatness doesn't have a zip code, that kids from Manila can compete with kids from Barcelona, California, or anywhere else. For decades, certain countries dominated tennis. Certain backgrounds produced champions. Alex is rewriting that narrative in real time. She's showing Filipino kids that professional tennis isn't some distant dream. It's achievable. It's real. It's happening right now. The economic impact alone is staggering. Sponsorship deals, media attention, tourism, tennis academies popping up across the Philippines. Eala isn't just winning matches, she's building an industry. She's creating opportunities for coaches, trainers, facilities. She's putting the Philippines on the map in a sport where they've been invisible for generations. That's not just athletic achievement, that's legacy building. And Nike recognizing that, immortalizing her at their headquarters, that's validation on a global scale. Nike doesn't do that for just anyone. They do it for icons, for athletes who transcend their sport, for people who represent something bigger than wins and losses. Eala represents possibility. She represents breaking barriers. She represents an entire nation stepping into the spotlight and refusing to leave. Social media is still buzzing weeks after the Nike reveal. Fans are making pilgrimages to Oregon just to see the display, posting photos, tagging Alex, sharing their own stories of how she's inspired them. One fan wrote, "I never thought I'd see a Filipino at Nike HQ. Alex made it happen. Now I believe anything is possible." Another said, "History in full bloom is the most perfect phrase ever. That's exactly what she is, blooming right before our eyes." And our personal favorite, Eala really said, "Watch me turn a wild card into a wild career, and we're all just here for the ride." The tennis world is taking notice, too. Opponents who used to overlook her are now studying her game. Analysts are breaking down her matches. Coaches are using her as an example of what determination and skill can accomplish. She's gone from footnote to headline in less than a year. That's the kind of rise that make Hollywood movies. Except this is real life, and the script is still being written. So what's next for Eala? If her trajectory continues, we're looking at a future top 10 player, a Grand Slam contender, a legitimate superstar in a sport that desperately needs fresh faces and compelling stories. She's got the game, she's got the mentality, she's got an entire nation behind her, pushing her forward. That's a dangerous combination for anyone standing across the net. And here's the beautiful part. Alex isn't carrying the weight of Filipino expectations like a burden. She's wearing it like armor. She knows what she represents. She knows millions of people are watching, hoping, believing. And instead of crumbling under that pressure, she's thriving. She's using it as fuel. Every match is a chance to prove it wasn't a fluke. Every tournament is a chance to go even further. Every ranking point is another step toward immortality. The coronation at Nike headquarters isn't the end of Eala's story. It's barely the beginning. It's a checkpoint, a moment to pause and say, yeah, this happened. A Filipino took over tennis. And then it's right back to work, right back to training, right back to proving that history in full bloom isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a promise, a declaration, a warning to everyone else on tour that Eala is here to stay, and she's just getting started. So the next time you're scrolling through tennis highlights and you see a 20-year-old from Manila taking down champions like it's no big deal, remember this moment. Remember when Nike said, "Yeah, she's special enough to put on our walls." Remember when an entire nation rallied behind one athlete and watched her soar. Because this is what sports is supposed to be about. This is the magic, the belief, the impossible becoming possible right before our eyes. Eala isn't just making history, she's living it, and we all get to watch.